Some liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. He's a narcissist.
It feels like Jimmy Kimmel has become the main target on his own show, and the results are hilarious. Watching his closest friends throw him under the bus makes you wonder if he has any real allies in the industry. The best part is, he kind of has it coming. As the face of woke culture, it's pure entertainment when his buddies roast him directly on his stage. Bill Burr, in particular, delivers one of the boldest jabs in this clip.
Narcissists, sociopaths, all of this type of stuff. Like, you want to see a great case thing on, like, narcissism. Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. He's a narcissist. Neutral energy.
Yeah.
Neutral.
You think he'd go away?
You know what I think he was? I think he was a one-hit wonder. Right? He wrote The Twist. And then that was it. He was on the casino circuit, and then you idiot liberals wrote him Twist again when you indicted him. And now he's a martyr.
And now he's
coming back, Jimmy.
The peppermint twist
he's
is back.
Coming back.
I'm not pretending Bill Burr is some hidden Trump fan or closet conservative. He's openly a leftist and makes no effort to disguise it. But here's the twist. Every so often, even someone firmly on the left lands on an uncomfortable truth. Burr highlighted something many refuse to acknowledge. Liberals themselves were the ones who blew Trump up into a larger-than-life figure. Their non-stop obsession with tearing him down backfired spectacularly. In trying to block him from running again, they piled on criminal charges, hoping one would finally knock him out. But instead of crippling his campaign, each indictment and headline only boosted his visibility. In the end, they gave Trump more attention and screen time than Kamala Harris, fueling his transformation into a political force they couldn't shut down, no matter how hard they tried.
Can't believe, like, these are honestly going to be our two choices, because I really try to, with each thing, to try to be like, figure out who I'm going to put. I mean, there's got to be, I want somebody in their 40s, somebody that's going to have to live with their decisions. I don't want, like, with any luck, they'll both die of natural causes. And maybe you could get somebody that still has something to live for.
Wow.
For Bill Burr, this should have been an easy call. He's a left-leaning comedian, after all. But it wasn't so clear-cut. When pushed to choose between Trump and Harris, he didn't fall neatly into place. And that hesitation revealed something deeper. On the surface, he played it off as a joke about both candidates being old, a sly shot at Biden himself. But beneath that, the frustration was obvious. What really came through was Burr's weariness with the Biden administration's nonstop push of woke policies. Like many others, he wasn't eager for another 4 years of ideas that seemed to clash with tradition, common sense, and even basic logic. His remark went beyond comedy. It echoed a growing cultural fatigue that's getting harder and harder to ignore.
Bill Burr is here. He means no harm.
How long you been wearing suits? You're supposed to unbutton the coat when you sit down.
No, that's not true.
Bugging me the whole time.
All right, I'll unbutton everything. More with Bill Burr after this. We'll be right back.
Jimmy Kimmel looked visibly uncomfortable as Bill Burr started unloading truth bombs that pierced straight through the Hollywood bubble. The nervous energy was written all over him, fidgeting in his chair, tugging at his suit, and itching for a commercial break. He had brought Burr on, expecting the usual safe routine of Trump bashing that late night thrives on. What he didn't see coming was Burr flipping the script entirely. Instead of playing along, Burr fired shots back at the very narrative Kimmel leans on. His raw, no-nonsense commentary didn't just sidestep the script, it tore it apart. That's why Kimmel seemed so shaken. He thought he was hosting an ally, but what he got was a comedian unafraid to poke fun at the very system Kimmel profits from. In doing so, Burr flipped the spotlight and left Kimmel stuck in the awkward tension he thought he had avoided.
We saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Eventually, ABC cut ties with Jimmy Kimmel, and much like Stephen Colbert's situation, the outcome was hardly surprising. His ratings had been in steady decline, and television at its core is still a business. Once a show starts losing millions year after year, neither political loyalty nor star power can keep it afloat. Some critics chalk up Kimmel's collapse to his endless jabs at Trump or digs at MAGA fans. But controversy alone isn't enough to sink a career. Audience numbers are what matter. When viewers stop showing up, advertisers pull back. and networks start running the math. Kimmel wasn't a draw anymore. He was a liability. ABC made the only practical decision: cut their losses. In the end, it wasn't the Trump jokes that doomed him. It was the ratings. And the ratings don't lie.
After years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators it doesn't like. This is precisely the kind of government coercion that the First Amendment was designed to prevent, and media companies need to start standing up rather than capitulating to it.
Since when did Barack Obama decide to position himself as a critic of cancel culture? This is the same figure who stood by quietly during its peak, while comedians, public figures, politicians, and even everyday people were being torn apart for stepping out of line with the far-left agenda. At the time, Obama never warned against the mob, never cautioned about the dangers of silencing opposing voices, and certainly never challenged the government while his own party held power. That silence spoke louder than words. But now, with the political tide turning and the balance shifting, Obama suddenly discovers his voice. Suddenly, cancel culture is a concern, just not when it was being used as a weapon to benefit his side. It's a convenient revelation, but a transparent one. He only objects to cancel culture once it stops working in his favor.
Little Jimmy Kimmel thought he was bigger than Disney, bigger than Mickey Mouse. Charlie Kirk's body isn't even buried, and ABC affiliates are refusing to air his show. They're on the brink of an advertiser boycott, and this guy's not even in first place. And he says, let's go another round. So the boss said, take a breather, Jimmy. You're costing us a fortune and making us look like we don't have a conscience.
By this stage, audiences were already worn out from Jimmy Kimmel's endless rants about MAGA. Night after night, his monologues stopped being comedy and turned into a monotonous cycle of Trump bashing. Instead of cracking jokes, he pushed half the country away. What once passed for late-night entertainment morphed into partisan lecturing, and viewers left in droves. But then came the remarks that went beyond his usual routine. This wasn't just another jab at Trump or a cheap shot at his supporters. It crossed a line that couldn't be ignored. Even longtime defenders struggled to excuse it. The thin line between edgy humor and reckless commentary disappeared completely, and in that moment, Kimmel sealed his fate. He hadn't just pushed boundaries. He'd gone past the point of no return.
This is not about free speech. This is about the free market. On free speech, Jimmy Kimmel isn't losing his ability to speak out and say whatever the heck he wants. He could run the Substack just like his friends Don Lemon, Jim Acosta, Joy Reid, Chuck Todd, and say whatever's on his mind there. The difference is he's not going to get paid $15, $16 million a year from Disney and ABC to do it. I mean, here's the thing. This was a last straw moment for Disney, ABC, the affiliates Nexstar, and Sinclair.
Jimmy Kimmel just wasn't delivering the kind of return ABC expected from such a heavy investment. Like several of his late-night peers, he went all in on politics, transforming his show into a nightly lecture aimed at Trump and the MAGA crowd. The issue with that approach is simple. Once you deliberately alienate millions of potential viewers, they're gone for good. No punchline or apology is going to bring them back. What remains is the same shrinking pool of like-minded viewers that every other politically driven comedian is already competing for. Instead of expanding the audience, Kimmel and his peers ended up slicing the same pie into thinner and thinner pieces. His downfall wasn't random misfortune. It was the inevitable outcome of burning bridges and boxing himself into a corner with an audience too narrow to sustain him.
All of this screaming about the First Amendment and free speech is driving me crazy. People seem to think that the First Amendment allows every individual to say whatever they want, wherever they want, whenever they want. That's not what the First Amendment does. What the First Amendment does is provides that Congress can make no law to prohibit you from speaking. Mm-hmm. It does not say that you can't get fired for saying some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right? It does not say that. And so Jimmy Kimmel, as you've said, has not been silenced. This is not chilling.
This woman tears apart Trump's critics and lays bare just how flimsy many of their arguments are. Too often, people wave around the First Amendment without even grasping what it actually means. The amendment limits government interference with speech. It doesn't apply to what private employers demand of their workers. If a sponsor, network, or company decides someone's words or actions are damaging to their brand, they're free to act. That's not censorship, it's business. In Jimmy Kimmel's case, hiding behind the First Amendment is not only weak, it's irrelevant. The government didn't silence him. The very industry that once elevated him simply held him accountable. And the reality is straightforward. If you can't bring in ratings, revenue, or respect, a network has every right to cut you loose. Kimmel's downfall wasn't about one ill-timed joke or a single political rant. It was the accumulation of years spent alienating half the country, leaning too heavily on woke politics, and delivering fewer laughs season after season. Critics can frame it however they like, but the truth is simple. He stopped being funny, and he stopped being profitable. Networks don't prioritize loyalty. They prioritize numbers. And once those numbers collapsed, so did Kimmel's safety net. Whether it was Bill Burr calling him out, critics dissecting his failures, or viewers walking away, the message was clear. Kimmel's moment is over. Hollywood has already moved forward, leaving little room for him to stage a comeback. And that wraps things up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll know the moment a new video drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.